One of the main things I hate about hiking this time of the year is spider webs. I tell you what, I'm about sick and tired of spider webs. Constantly walking through spider webs. The worst is when there's a spider in it and it goes right in your face. Another spider web, here they come. Oh my gosh. About time to get the spider web stick. Freaks me out, gives me the chills. But that's what you have to put up with if you hike in September. Finally made it to Burr State Park. This is a section of the Buckeye Trail. It's Saturday, September 24th, 10:30 a.m. And we're hitting the trail to circumnavigate Burr State Park. All right, on this hike, we're starting at the lodge, or the little ranger station right here, and going around the lake today, up past the dam. When we get to this little tip, there's a little trail. It goes right up near 107, and that's the Burr Cove campground, like a little primitive campground. That's where I'll be staying tonight. I'll hang the hammock there, and then day 2, try to go around the rest of the lake and stop at this little campsite here. And day 3, back out to the ranger station. It's 21 miles. Planning on spending 2 nights and 3 days. It's a pretty nice day for a hike. It's overcast, about 69, 70 degrees, but a little bit humid. Doesn't look like it's going to be very crowded either. The trails are manicured pretty well, and the trees are well blazed, it looks like so far. The one thing about this trail is that it's going to hug the lake most of the way. You can see the lake out there. I'm starting to notice a few leaves changing and falling just a little. Won't be long, a couple more weeks and they'll really be dropping. And the colors will start showing. Oh, we have our first cool rock feature. I think it's known as like the Burr Cave or something like that. I don't know if it's really a cave, but kind of like something you'd see at Hocking Hills. Thank goodness for a nice breeze today. I was expecting it to be 85 and sunny and humid, but it's staying around 72 degrees with a nice breeze, a little overcast, so not too bad. It could get much worse though. It's only 11 a.m. This is a nice beginner hike. It's my first solo trip with a hammock, so we'll see how that goes. The one thing I notice about this trail, obviously there's not much elevation change. It's pretty flat, a few ups and downs, a few little switchbacks, but it's only like a half mile or less off the trail to exit the park property. So off in the distance you can hear lawnmowers running. Sometimes you can hear a car engine accelerating. So, and in the lake they're out fishing, so I can hear people talking on their fishing boats and their pontoon boats. So you don't get the feeling of seclusion out here. But like I said, it's a nice beginner hike to try out everything and make sure I've got everything I need in my pack before I do a really long one, a long through hike or somewhere further from civilization, and to see what I can get along without. So my pack weight is a little heavy, 18-pound base weight. It'd be nice. I think I could get it down to 15 pretty easy. I have a few extras that I didn't really have to have. Well, we're about 2 miles in, and this is the first little group campsite along the trail. And it's about lunchtime, so I think I'm gonna fire up the stove and make me some lunch. I got my little cat can stove going, boiling up my 2 cups of water. I'm gonna make some ramens and put in some Thai style tuna. Now I'm starving. I didn't have a good breakfast, so we're eating an early lunch today. Water's starting to boil. We had a little breeze, so I didn't have time to make a proper shroud, wind shroud, so I just brought some aluminum foil to wrap around there to block the wind. Seems to be working all right. Well, the cat can stove worked pretty good. Took a little bit more fuel than I thought to get it to a boil because it was a little breezy out. Good thing I brought some aluminum foil to make a shroud, or I never would have got the water boiling. But I got my ramens in there and the tuna in there, and it is good. Well, the trail has come out at one of the 4 marinas around the lake. Pretty crowded with boats. I think the trail picks back up down here at the end of this parking lot. I thought I'd stop and take a little breather. Right here by the lake. Got a little stump to sit on. Pretty peaceful out here. But it's hot. I'm getting real sick of sweating. I'm half tempted to jump in the water. Well, I'm about 4 to 5 miles in. Everything's going well. I just thought I would talk a little bit about why I'm doing this. When I was 17, I came here with my best buddy, my childhood friend, and we stayed a night at the main campgrounds and a night at the lodge. And we always talked about possibly coming and walking this 21-mile trail around Burr Lake in 3 days. And it just never happened. And I thought this would be a good place to start. 25 years later, here we are walking around the lake. Well, we're almost to my campsite for the first night. As I know, we're getting close when we were at the emergency spillway. That would take a lot of water. I'm 15 feet above water level standing right here. I'm here at the Tom Jenkins Dam. Well, I'm gonna go over here and take a load off on this nice bench and air out the old footsies. Well, I'm all cooled off and refreshed. I'm ready to hit the trail again. About 1.5 miles maybe or less to the campground that I scoped out this morning. And it's in the shade. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. And I stashed some firewood there, so we'll have a nice bonfire tonight and a picnic table. I'm out here standing on a rock ledge by the lake. There's the dam over there. It looks like we get to walk in the pines for a while. Hugging the edge of the lake here. I just passed a family hiking. A mother and a father and 2 young daughters. And I had just got on this trail hoping this was the right one. This is an unmarked trail off of the main Burr Trail. And they said it does lead to the Cove campground, Burr Cove campground. The little primitive sites I looked at earlier. So I was getting worried there. I'm glad I ran into them because this is not marked and I was just taking a shot in the dark hoping this was the right way. So they said about 3/4 of a mile and we'll be there. Definitely feels better in the shade. All right, I just wanted to document how to find this trail to this campground for future reference when I'm writing some reviews about this. If you're traveling around Burr Oak clockwise and you come to the Tom Jenkins Dam and keep going, walk across the dam by the little shelter house on top of the dam and then re-enter the hiking trail, less than a quarter mile in, you will enter some pine trees and then go down a little bit into the lowest area, and then that's where this trail branches off to the left for about a 3/4 of a mile walk to Burr Oak Cove Campground. Burr Oak Cove Campground is not marked on any of the maps I've seen. I just happened to come across it when I was driving by the main campground this morning. And it's a lot nicer than the main campground. Way more secluded and primitive and shaded. Nice places to hang your hammock. Not too many good places to hang your hammock in the main campground. Not too hard to find, but just wanted to make mention of it before I forgot. These are little delineators, reflectors. They're the one thing on this little connector trail that you'll see that takes you to the campground, as well as little white diamond plates nailed to the trees every so often. I finally made it to my site. It's not the one I originally had because some people moved in to some of the other ones closer to the trail. This one ain't too bad. Got pine needles and a nice fire pit and a picnic table. Well, I got everything set up finally, and I can't believe the mosquitoes aren't out. My shirt was soaked in sweat, so I got it drying on the line, and I thought I was going to get destroyed by mosquitoes, but they are not out at all. So here's the hammock. I got the Hennessy Expedition ASIM Zip. So when I got my Hennessy, I took off the ropes that it came with and put on these Dutch buckles that I got from Dutchware. I really like them. It's really easy to adjust and to put it up quickly. Just chilling in my hammock. Got my little dome light on. Gotta do some reading tonight. It's only 20 after 7. But it's starting to get dark out. Got a little fire going. It's pretty comfy. It's gonna be pretty hot tonight though too. Almost don't even need a sleeping bag. A little blanket would probably be fine, but I think it's supposed to get down in the 50s tonight, high 50s, so eventually it's going to get cool, I'm sure. Well, it's morning time, Sunday morning, about 7:45. I slept pretty good last night. I mean, I woke up a few times, and since it was so hot when I went to sleep, I didn't zip up my sleeping bag, so a couple times I had cold air coming through where the zipper was opened up. Not too bad for the first night in a hammock. Getting ready to enjoy some Mountain House breakfast skillet. Boiling up some more water here for a second cup of coffee. It's Starbucks Colombian. It's just nice to hear nothing right now. That was a mistake last night to stay in that public campground. I should have known better to set up too close to people because they were noisy. I heard people talking and coughing and laughing till 11 o'clock. Another thing I forgot to mention, to make things worse trying to sleep in that hammock, I have like a kink or a hitch in my right shoulder blade and neck from doing the worm with my kids on the living room floor the night before I left. And I tweaked my neck when I was doing it. And I'm paying the price now. It's 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. And I just hit the trail, taking this little connector back to the main trail at Burr Lake. 60 to 65 degrees, the sun's out, a lot less humidity today. Well, today's gonna be a big day. I got approximately 10 miles to hike to the next campground that I want to get to, and that'll make my Monday morning hike a little easier. Back to the truck, probably 4 or 5 miles. Well, I've been waiting for a good spot to take a little break, cook some lunch, and get some water from the lake. Finally got close to the lake. And look what I walked up on. An old beat up picnic table, little fire pit, and someone's been having a lot of fun here. There's the water, time to fill up and get some lunch going. Well, I finally made it to the top of Burr Oak Trail. I am here at the very northern peak on I, and the blue dots are the Buckeye Trail. So, taking the Buckeye Trail another 2.2 miles to Dock 3, and they have a campground there. It looks a lot different down here, I guess up here in the north section. We're kind of in the lowlands, in a valley where it's just flat. This will be 12 miles in 5 hours when we make it to camp today. So I'll probably wake up pretty sore in the morning. The water sure is murky. Looks about like Indian Lake. Up there that way is where I came from. I came from the other side. Actually, where I have my lunch break, that picnic table and fire pit is right over there. So we're making our way towards the Buckeye Trail. The Buckeye Trail is blue, and yellow and green is the Burr Oak Trail. Got this little metal bridge. This is pretty cool. About a half mile or so, and we will be chilling in the lake, swimming. Can't wait. This is a neat little boardwalk. Must be very swampy in the spring. I keep thinking we're about there. It's like the unending 2-mile walk. It's got to be getting close. That shade sure feels nice. This is a long boardwalk. Looks like someone was here yesterday. 9:24. Well, I finally made it here to the boat dock. Thinking about going swimming out here. I think I'm going to jump in right there. Beautiful little double corner site right on the cul-de-sac. Yes, I do have neighbors to contend with tonight. They're out deer hunting right now. Hopefully they won't be too noisy tonight. But man, you can't beat this. I can walk right out there on the stone beach, rocky beach, and take a swim. Got the hammock all set up. Getting ready to put the tarp up now. Just got done taking a bath out there and doing some laundry. Now I'm just sitting here thinking about when I want to start the fire and what I'm going to cook for dinner. I thought I might come over here and show you my sleep system under the hammock. Into the hammock, I mean. Under the fly. Got the bug net there. I got a, it's almost like Reflectix material for windshields of cars. Put that down there for my back. Got my little pillow here. You can put as much air in it as you want. My brand new sleeping bag from Hike and Bike. Down. Very reasonably priced. A 15 degree. I stayed toasty last night, but it only got in the upper 50s. But this is what I got for now until we get an underquilt for underneath here, and then maybe a top quilt instead of a sleeping bag. But this will work for now until I figure out if I really like hammock camping. Got a nice fire going here. The mosquitoes aren't bad. It's pretty comfortable out here. Well, it's day 3 of my hike. Today I'm going to finish the hike around the lake. Got about 5 miles to go back to the lodge, and the circumnavigation will be complete. Here is the camp of the 3 guys I hung out with last night from Toledo, St. Mary's, and Lansing, Michigan. They shared their chicken with me. It was pretty good. They're out deer hunting, so hopefully they'll have a successful hunt today. It's very peaceful and quiet out here. Comfortable. Not too hot and humid. Right around 65 degrees. Had a good breakfast. Water jugs are full. And we are ready to hit the trail. Alright. We are here at J. And we gotta follow this trail all the way back to C. I am parked at C. That is approximately 5 miles. Let's hit the road. Nothing like a good steep hill to start the hike off with. Good night. Well, last night was much better. My shoulder and neck wasn't bothering me as much, and I don't know, there was no bugs flying around, wasn't too humid. I was able to get situated in the hammock a little bit better. Still not perfect. I feel like I'm sliding down just a little too far. So I thought I had it exactly where I needed it, but maybe I need to lower the front side just a little bit more. I like to start my morning off with an apple. Honeycrisp. They are good. One thing I'm noticing about today already is that my hips don't hurt as bad, and my shins are not hardly sore at all. I almost can't believe it. I thought I was going to wake up miserable. But I feel pretty good. I was even up later than I had hoped to be. I thought I was going to be hitting the sack by 8:30 or 9. It was more like 10:30, 11. I was hanging out with the 3 guys that are down here deer hunting. They had some chicken. Cooked me up some good chicken over the fire. Some cornbread. Baked potatoes. When I was talking about not being sore this morning, I'm just really surprised. I thought that not being in shape for hiking, that I would just be really, really bad shape this morning after hiking 12 miles yesterday in 5 hours. I was hurting last night, but I feel refreshed and my body is recovering better than I thought it would at age 42. I thought it would take a little longer. I feel like I'm talking a lot this morning because I'm recording a lot of this back to back to back as I think of things. I think it's because I've practically been alone for 3 days, so the not talking much thing is starting to get to me a little bit, because I am somewhat of a talkative person, especially if you ask my wife. I don't think I am that much, but my wife does, probably just because she's a little quieter. Speaking of my wife, I'm really missing her, and I kind of wish she was out here on the trail with me. I really wish she was out on the trail with me, especially after 3 days. I'm ready for some companionship. Leaves are falling. Starting to feel a little bit like autumn. When I woke up this morning, I was looking across the lake, and I did notice some color change, slight color change in the tops of the trees. So it won't be long. Here's a great example of some of the Park Service work. A really nice trail here. Fresh footprints everywhere, so you can tell they've just been here. Whatever kind of equipment or tools they're using, I can see prints of those in the sandy soil. Listen to how peaceful and quiet it is. Down these lower elevations in this valley, there's a huge temperature change. It feels really good. Alright, we got a little map here to see where we're at. So it looks like we got about 1.5 miles back to the ranger station. It's definitely a lot less humid and more shade down here. It's very comfortable down here in the valley. But I am sweating bad already. My back is soaked. My shirt under my shoulder pads is soaked. I mentioned earlier about how it is bone dry down here. There's no water running anywhere. I'm standing in the middle of a creek bed. I bet it's beautiful in the spring when the water is running through here. Got a few pictures here. Have a little snack, and then got about 1.5 miles out to the truck, and that'll be it. Starting to see more rock formations, kind of like what you'd see at Hocking Hills. This is pretty cool. Wish I had my other camera and I would zoom in on it real good. Kind of feel like I'm in Hocking County now. This is seriously the first time I've seen any kind of water standing or moving anywhere on this trip, except for the lake, right here. So I could use my Sawyer and load up with water right here if I needed to, but my water bottles will suffice for today that I filled up at the campground. That's what's nice about some of these primitive campgrounds. They still have water sources, so you don't have to purify water. About 1/2 mile away from the lodge, a little side trail I found. This cool rock formation. Came to the final sign. We are at C. One little bit of hike there, about a 1/4 mile, and we'll be out. They hold a marathon here. I don't know if it's an annual event or what, where they run the trail in one day. And you'll see little signs like this attached to the trees every so often. And I think they're Blaze is the green one. But that'd be a pretty fun run. You have to be in pretty good shape. I couldn't do it, that's for sure. Another dry creek bed. The trail is definitely bigger, well worn here. Obviously because we're close to the lodge. Probably get a lot of day hikers out this way. Well, I'm pretty thrilled. I made it out. I see the exit right here. And some of the Frisbee golf course. Trailhead marker. And my truck. And a trail register. I never did see that. I guess if I would have went in this way, I would have saw it. So we'll go ahead and register that our trip is over. Complete. 25 years later, after the first mention of possibly hiking this trail, I got it done. It was a good time. Well, I made it back. I've officially completed the hike. There's the vehicle. I'm glad to take off this hot, sweaty back, finally. Well, that was a great hike. I'm gonna head down to the lodge and get me some lunch. Back up in here. I'm ready to hit the road. Oh my gosh, I still got it. Yep, I remember playing this game nearly 30 years ago. Can't believe it's still here. You wrap the string around this little piece here, and then you pull it like that right here, and this little thing spins like a top and goes knocking around all over in here and knocking these pins over. This is a cool place to hang out. Stone fireplace below and above. What a great hike. Feels really good to have finally accomplished circumnavigation of Burr State Park Lake. 21 miles, 2 nights, 3 days. It was a little bit hot. There was a lot of spider webs, so definitely looking forward to the next one after a good frost. So I won't have to deal with any of that. But everything went great. Glad I got that one under my belt, and I'm looking forward to the next one.